Have you ever wanted to see what would happen if the Predator made sweet, sweet love to one of the demons out of Doom? Because if you have wondered what that would look like, I've got fantastic news for you. After all, it's Heresy Thursday, and this time round we've got the Infernus Abomination. And yes, I know there is some Dreadnought stuff we need to talk about, but we'll get to that. We'll most likely have a chat about that tomorrow. For now, we have the Infernus Abomination, and come on, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me this doesn't look like the love child of a Predator and a demon from Doom. It just does. Now, I just want to point out that I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's not necessarily a criticism, because I'll be honest, I've often wondered what that looks like. That's a lie, I've never wondered that. I think despite being able to draw some distinct comparisons from stuff that exists in other popular sci-fi universes, this is actually one of the more, one of the more unique things Games Workshop's made in regards to its own models. Like, this doesn't look necessarily like something that you would expect to see in the Horus Heresy. I mean, bits of it are. The cables coming out the back of the head look very Mechanicum. The demon face on the front, of course, looks very Chaos. It's even got the star that's been carved into the forehead there, at least part of it. I think you can look at the weapons and see things like, there's a bit of like the Flux Bombard going on with the kind of projectile drippy mouth arm, and then you could easily look at the other arm and there's lightning claws there. There are lightning claws. You can see the inspiration behind it. You've got 3 fingers that are normal size, you've got 2 elongated ones. I look at that and I see a power fist with lightning claws attached to the back of it. I think there's a lot of stuff in here that's obviously inspired by other stuff from 40k/Horus Heresy, but on its own, as its own thing, it feels very different, it feels very unique, and I like that a lot. Their equipment is suitably over the top, so they have wraith skin suits that override their neural impulses, tearing muscles and breaking bones, pushing the wearer beyond human limits to become the perfect killer. Very berserk, that, isn't it? Very, very guts. Now, it doesn't say anywhere in the article that I can see, but I'm assuming the Wraithskin suit repairs itself over time, or is in some way like living, or self-sustaining, maybe? Because it kind of looks like he's breaking out of that. It kind of looks like that suit is not going to last much longer. It's absolutely falling apart. It's coming to tatters as this moves around. So I'm assuming there's something else going on there that perhaps the books shed light on. I'm very, very far behind in the books. Ridiculously far behind, to be honest. Nonetheless, the model overall, I really like it. We've got some nice alternate angles as well, and again, there's just quite a few details through this I like. So you've kind of got that spinal column sticking out the back of the suit, but it looks very, very unnatural. It looks like weirdly formed. Those kind of mechadendrite bits, the tentacles coming out of the back of the head, look super gnarly. I really like those. The mix of mechanical cable and like living, almost this is down to the way it's been painted, which, by the way, it looks fantastic. The fact that whoever painted this has given those like biological tubes umbilical cord looking colours, that's gross. That's awful. Very well done. Really like that, but Jesus Christ. Also, look at the definition on them calf muscles. My God, this lad does some long distance running for sure. I really like the kind of practicalities that have gone into this as well. You have this clearly inhuman freak that is able to form weapons out of their arms, but they still have a kind of bandolier / a belt thing to hang additional armaments on. Like, the fact that that's even necessary is in itself kind of absurd, and I don't know, I like that detail. It is interesting that actually the stuff that's on that bandolier is the same stuff that's plugged into the back of those tendrils coming out of the back of the head. I wonder if that isn't like the juice required to transform the different weapons, which, by the way, hammer blade, spine lash, talon rakes. Pretty hardcore overall, pretty hardcore those names. I do like hammer blade. I want to see what that looks like. On the model we've got the talon rakes and whatever that ranged option is, because the hammer blade and the spine lash are both two-handed, so I'm assuming that they would look badass, but right now, don't know. This feels super different, and I really like it for that. It feels pretty unique in the grand scheme of the Horus Heresy stuff so far. It's not like full demon, but it's also not Chaos Space Marine. It couldn't really be confused for Mechanicum stuff either. This is a cool, like, individual concept. I like it. Also, since we've had every Mark 6 helmet revealed, they are now doing 2 packs of character heads. So just bare heads, which, for me, not going to get a huge amount of use out of these, to be honest. It is literally 2 boxes of things that I don't put on models. But you know what? It's not all about me, it's about everyone else. And I've already seen quite a few people get really excited about this. There's a really good mix of different facial features. They've put some distinct effort into getting some diversity in there as well, like it's not just everyone has the same facial structure, but they've painted them a different colour. There's plenty of options in terms of things like half helms or rebreathers or cybernetics, implants. There's just a lot going on with these. Some really good options and a lot of variety. Even as someone who consciously avoids putting bare heads on models, I can appreciate these. And there you go, that's this week's Heresy Thursday. Quite the mix! Quite the mix this time round. You got an unholy, inhuman freak and a bunch of bare heads. Quite the contrast indeed. Question is, what out of all of that, if anything, has tickled your fancy? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. Patreon video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to, and as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.